That's perfectly fine.
Okay.
Sorry. I had to lie back there. Very interesting what came up. I feel like I went quite deep because an image came up of a dockside of where you put boats and water. And I was walking where men usually walk who work on boats, but I had to be really careful that I didn't fall into the sea. Um, and they have these places here where the city where I'm from, they have like steps as you can go down near the Irish Sea. Um, I have no idea what that means at all. But what I did see was the first part what came in was it frightened me. It is white hot and it's got a wide open mouth. And I wrote it down, the word came rage. It's absolute rage. And it was it was difficult for me to communicate with it because it didn't change at all. It literally looks like a caricature. It didn't speak, but I know it's trying to protect me. And that happened young, 9 or 10. The other one what came in was you said the word sadness, and what came in was pain, grief, and it said its name, but it wasn't pain, it was aloof. I'm aloof, it said. And it gave me two ages, 17 and 33.
Oh,
And but what I found after they both just acknowledged me,
uh,
and they were really well behaved actually in this waiting room. I don't think there was two, but the one that I thought was pain said, no, no, I'm aloof. I don't know if it was blocking another one or it actually acts for two parts. I couldn't understand that vision I saw of where boats go into the port. But I'm walking around, you know what I mean, like a normal person. I had to be really careful I didn't fall into the sea.
okay, so you saw not an image, but it was like a movie, right? Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, it was me walking in it.
Oh,
I had a really strong vision, almost like a dream, Manu, but I wasn't asleep.
I know you were seeing. Okay, are you able to see it now? Can you?
Yeah,
Can,
and I can see it quite clearly and recollect everything that I saw.
okay, good. So just see when you look at that vision, how do you feel towards that vision, that image? What's the first feeling you get in your body? How do you feel towards it?
I get the first feeling steady,
Steady.
careful, careful, be steady.
Careful, so it's kind of alerty. It's like it's alerting you.
Because where you have to walk
Yeah, correct.
is where only men who work on the boats and that walk, or people who are actually getting involved with sea sports. But I'm walking around there with my clothes on like a regular person. I've got no safety equipment on, no anything. It's imagine if you were working on ships at sea.
That's
It's
okay.
where they dock in.
Yeah. So 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 the first sensation you got is of, do you feel fearful as you see that? Or do you're just, it's telling you be aware?
I'd say more be aware, be careful.
Okay.
You don't
So,
fall in the sea.
so we're following the thing. Okay. Now ask it saying, what are you afraid would happen to me? Just ask to that image. So
Ah,
I'm
okay.
curious to know what is going to happen to me. What are you afraid would happen to me?
Mm.
And what do you hear?
You drown.
Okay. Yeah. And ask it, and if I drown, what happens then?
Well, they simply can't save me, can they?
What saying? Nobody can save me. Yeah. So that's what.
I yeah, I mean, I started therapy and I am from a 12-step program,
No.
and little things have been coming up, like really conflicting inside, like literally arguing with each other. And I was saying in the week, this is like flogging dead horses. Why am I here? Because I've created a new life.
Okay, so there's a lot of judgment and stuff coming up. Can you ask to all these thoughts that are coming up, saying, please, can you just politely ask them, saying, can you go into the waiting room? I would like to focus on this image that has come through because there's something it wants to tell me. Okay, so ask everybody else to go into the waiting room. Okay,
Yeah,
and see if you can be still curious about this image because it's kind of saying, well, oh, it's afraid that you will drown and there will be nobody to save you. That's what it's afraid of. And ask it, since when are you holding this fear? How old was I when you started to hold this fear for me?
but always it wasn't now.
It was there from the time of a birth.
Yeah,
Okay. Ask it, is it before birth or is it from birth?
I'm not sure, Manu.
Okay, that's okay. Just be
Really not
curious. Just
sure.
be curious. Saying, I'm just curiously asking. Could be from the time of birth, and I'm okay. I'm just curious.
It's before.
Is before. Okay. Yeah. So ask it, do you come from my past life or do you come from my ancestors, from my parent, mother, father?
Before.
From?
Before. I think I've lived before.
Before. Yeah.
I think I've been alive before because I can swim, Manu.
Yeah, yeah, you
I'm
go.
an excellent swimmer.
Okay, so
My
don't.
mum had me in school swim team.
Yeah. So, okay. So this is judgment coming back. Ask judgment, saying, can you just, please, can you just step aside? Let me just focus on this image because I want to know and understand deeper. So, and and say, just acknowledging, oh, I understand it comes from another life. Ask it, where does it come from? What was going on in that life? And just stay curious. No judgment, everybody out. Just stay with this. See what you hear.
You say it. There was a smell of iron.
And ask it what was going on then, what happened.
They
I'm,
were really hurt.
hmm,
They were hurt.
you were hurt.
And I can smell a horrible smell and taste the taste like iron. They were really hurt.
Yeah. So see if you can acknowledge that I got the message. And I'm very grateful for you to give me this message. That it comes from a past life. Something was going on there. What you showed me.
Sorry, I want to take my camera off a minute. I acknowledge whatever is talking to me with compassion, and I'm sick of all the parts of judgment getting in the way of compassion and just being still to listen.
Just hold it. And see if you can just be grateful to it for what it just showed you. And let it know that I'm taking note. I acknowledge you. I know you're there. I know you hold energy from my past life. This is what happened. And I will promise to come back to this and I will work on it.
I'm very grateful for what I've been shown. I had no idea I would see that.
Yeah, correct. Say that.
And
And
I'm very, very grateful.
yeah. And notice how that image, how does it feel to you as you look at that image, as you say that?
As I see it, I feel calm. I feel calm.
Hmm.
When I was there in the image, like a movie, it was saying, be careful, be careful. But now I feel calm looking at it, like I'm looking at it, I'm not in it. Yeah.
Okay, so just acknowledge it, saying, I promise, I take note, I'm going to work on it, but I'm
Yeah,
so grateful that you bring it to my awareness and my attention. Yeah,
I am. I promise I'll work on this, and I'm grateful it was brought to my attention. And yeah, thank you, Manu.
you're most welcome. Okay, you,
Thank
you,
you.
you know what happened, right?
No, I have no idea.
You have, I think so. So of course there is some sort, and I know it's, and again, sorry for everybody if you don't believe in that. That's okay, no worry. There's nothing. There's no hard and fast rule around that. Uh, uh, but my perception is that in your system, it's something what is called past life trauma, where something happened to you related to water, related to what it said, and you are carrying that into this lifetime. Now it has come to your awareness now. Maybe it would have shown before as well, but like if you didn't make
Mm,
meaning, now that you acknowledge it, that's why it kind of calms down because it says, okay, she gets it and she will do something about it. So I don't have to scare her. I don't have to remind her every moment. She took note. Okay.
yeah. Thank you, Manu. I wasn't really expecting that at all. I was actually trying to work on something that happened in this lifetime. But yeah, I'll keep on working on that as well. Thank you for the sessions.
You're
Gonna keep coming back.
most welcome, John. Okay. Thank you. Nadia, go ahead, my dear.
Thank you, Manu, and thank you for a wonderful session. My question was, so I had a part that wants to move on from my sister's death that happened a couple of years back. Um, and that part just wants me, just before it happened, it was very sudden. She was young and it was out of the blue. And I remember at that time I was feeling quite joyous, quite light, a lot of hope. I'd done an awful lot of work in therapy and what have you. I felt really connected to God, and yeah, and then that happened and it just made life feel really unsafe. and scary. Um, so there was this part then when I wanted to find out what was holding on, the attached part. What came up was like a huge amount of sadness, but also lots, what was stopping me from almost like letting go, from moving on, is almost like what I came across was a huge amount of rage, angry at her, angry at God, angry at there's a part that's angry at the grief, that's angry at everything.
This is the
Um yeah, so it was almost, and I kept saying, kept saying, I see you, I see you, I see your rage. You know, if you didn't have to feel this, what would be underneath? You know, and what came up was this real feeling of powerlessness. And it came, and then I had a vision of just, even like when I was tiny, like, you know, all the times in my life and my childhood, really, whereby I guess from a very young age of thinking, whoa, I'm powerless here. I'm powerless over when people die. I'm powerless over my caregivers and how they treated me. I'm powerless over other people. I'm powerless over, and but anyway, what the visceral feeling in my system was a very young age, a very young child that felt really frightened and powerless over the care that she received. Um, and that part of me is still, you know, I do quite a bit of work on it, but it just feels sad and lonely and just, yeah, just separate, I want to say.
the 2-year-old.
Yeah,
Do
she
you
feels really separate. And when the death happened, I think what came up, which was surprising, was a real feeling of fear that I'm alone. I'm alone in this world. I'm alone in this life, and I'm alone in this pain. There was no one I could ring as an adult, I guess. Well, grief is very, for me, grief was very, no one could take your pain, your grief from you. You just had to feel it. You just had to be with it. But what came up was having to be with this little girl that had so much grief and wanted someone there for her, but there was no one there. So I felt like I'm working on two things. I'm working with my grief now
Mhm.
of the loss of my sister, but I'm working with a real visceral type of grief, which is,
Held by this
oh,
held by, which is held by this 2-year-old.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Do you want to help her?
Yeah, I'd love to. I don't know. I feel almost like powerless and I can't take her pain away from her.
We can do it together if you're okay.
Yeah, that would be lovely.
Okay. So see if you can. So the part of you that you connected, which feels visceral,
Mhm.
eh? Where do you feel it in your body? Just invite it in.
But primarily, I think in my chest, over my heart.
And when you connect to that, notice how do you feel towards it.
There's a part of me that feels a bit scared by it,
Okay. Yeah.
and a part that's really frustrated by it, that almost like wants to shake it and say, "Oh, for goodness sake, stop it." Um,
So these are two other parts that are
mm,
holding that thing. Can you ask these two parts to uh, give away and so that you can just be with this part? Just ask them to go into the waiting room saying, can you just step away so that I can at least work with it and I will come back to you and
mhm.
check with you whether you still feel the same way for that.
Yeah, I,
Okay?
yeah, promise them I'm gonna see, not let this part
Yeah, okay.
overwhelm the system.
Yeah, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's okay. It will not. So now see if you can go back to this area in your chest where you feel this part and notice how do you feel towards it.
Curious.
Okay, good. And ask it what it wants for you.
The image I get is just this almost like flat line, really deflated.
This is how it feels.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But ask it saying, what do you want? What do you
Um,
want? What is your wish?
it's simply saying love.
Love. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So can you acknowledge that? Okay, I get it. That you're
Mm-hmm.
looking for love.
Mm-hmm.
And ask it what is it afraid would happen to you? Or what is it afraid would happen? Ask it, so what are your fears?
It's just afraid it will die without it.
Yeah, that's why it's just showing you that line.
Mm.
Yeah. So actually it's fearful of death.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that, so just from an intellectual point of view, whenever a part of you feels that you're going to die,
Mm-hmm.
everybody else then either gets scared of it or gets angry with it
Mm-hmm.
because nobody wants to die. But this one feels like that. So just say, I understand there must be something that is making you feel this way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm coming in compassion with you, to you.
Mm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Ask it since when you're feeling this way.
Mm. It's just saying really slightly that no one wants me.
No one wants me. Okay. Yeah. This is
Mm.
scary. Yeah. So this voice that is saying no one wants me, ask
Mm-hmm.
it since when it is feeling this way.
Mm. Immediately it says even in utero.
In vitro. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ask it if it's willing to allow you to work with that little one in vitro.
Mm.
It says yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So just notice how you feel towards this sensation in your chest.
I'm still quite curious.
Okay. 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 So stay curious and see if you can bring that little one in the
Mm-hmm.
uterus. Okay.
My part's just jumped in saying, "Oh, this is pointless. We've been here before." This part's just kind of,
Yeah.
oh, not again.
Not again.
Mm.
Ask it saying, can you
Mhm.
give me one try?
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
It gives you permission for
Hmm.
one try. Okay. So see if you can go back to this little one, bring her
Hmm.
into your awareness. See if she's looking
Hmm.
at you, looking away from you.
Yeah. She's just looking down. She's looking kind of like, she's scrunched up and looking down,
Yeah.
refusing to do eye contact.
Yeah. So now see if you can look at her and notice what she is going through
Mm.
and how much endurance and resilience she has had. So see if you can look at her and bring some form of love and compassion for her without talking to her. Right? This is you only. Just keep looking at her and just breathing and keep looking at her. Don't engage with her for the moment. Just keep looking at her.
Yeah, I have so much compassion for her powerlessness, really, in it.
There you go. Yeah.
Mm.
So, so let her know, hey, I have compassion for you, for your powerlessness, and I'm here to be with you. So see if she starts
Mm.
to look at you.
Yeah, I think she was taken back by me being present.
Ask her how does she feel about it.
Um, Relief.
Yeah. Hmm. Okay. Now ask her, tell her, I'm here for you.
Mm.
I'm here to help you. And together we're going to
Mhm.
work. Okay. And I feel compassion for you. And I'm just curious to know what all have you gone through, all your pain, all your suffering. And she has to tell you only, not to anybody else. And see if she tells you stuff, shows images, shows you things that she's experiencing, and just stay compassionate. If you have tears, that's okay. Let her speak to you, only you.
Yeah, she told me where she got those beliefs from.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and her pain areas, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just notice how you feel towards her.
Yeah, I feel real compassion and sadness for her. Or I feel her sadness, really, I
Yeah,
think.
good. That's
Yeah.
important. Important. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
acknowledge her sadness.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
she's holding on to a lot of sadness from what she had to go through. But now you are here to help her.
Yeah.
So ask her, if I was to be with you now, what would you like me to do for you? And see what she tells you.
She's saying just to connect with her. So she's saying to be present,
To hold
to
her?
yeah, to show that I want her. So
Ah, so she wants something to be said to her by you.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Can you say that to her?
Mhm. She's and I'm saying it to her, but she's saying that it will take time, almost like she wants someone to take time with her.
Okay, so can you promise her that every day from now onwards you will take time with her?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Ask her, do you believe me?
It's funny she's saying, I don't want to be a burden. Like she's saying something about she's holding this belief that she's a burden.
Okay, so now you have to tell her something.
Uh-huh.
She wants to hear something from you.
Yeah, she's just need reassurance that her existence isn't a burden.
There you go. That's the thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I just have so much, like, I just want to have so much compassion for her that she's had that for so long, that her very being here was a burden to people.
And she got it from someone. From her experience, from things, from
Yeah.
events that she would have showed you. And if you want, you can hold her in your arms
Yeah.
and let her know that how much you value her.
Yeah, I've got an image of almost like celebrating her birth and celebrating her coming into this world, which I don't think she had, bless her. So,
There you go.
mm,
Now ask her if she's willing to leave the time in the past and move to a place where she feels safe.
yeah, she wants to immediately.
Ask her where
Yeah.
she wants to go. She can go to you, but she can also go somewhere else.
Oh, she wants to go to me and she wants, yeah, to be held by
Okay,
me.
both.
Hmm.
Do that both. So hold her and
Hmm.
tell her she's welcome to be with you now.
Hmm.
She can leave that time in the past and be with you now.
Yeah, she feels lots of relief in her body.
Now ask her if she's willing to release all the pain and suffering and the belief that she had been holding on to.
Mm, yeah.
Ask her where does she store it in her body.
She's saying the belief of not being wanted kind of all over almost.
All over her body. Yeah,
Yeah, like it's saying that word visceral has come up again. So I'm
it's all over.
just, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So
Mhm.
ask her she can release all of it into either water or fire or earth or air or light. Where does
Mm.
she want to release into?
It's saying light.
Okay.
Hmm.
So bring up source of light she wants to release into. And now tell her she's free to take it out of her body everywhere,
Mm.
every event, each and every pain, each and every belief, and release it into light. You
Hmm.
observe.
Hmm. Yeah, I have that image of it was used in your presentation, Manu, of that light within someone's heart, almost like that light going out and then bouncing back in, but it being a more healing light.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Mm.
Now ask her, is there anything else that you didn't even tell me that you would like to release out?
It's just saying this burden that people don't like me. So
Okay, so ask her, she can release that into light.
mhm. Yeah, she's happy to let that go.
Okay, good. Now ask her what qualities would she like to invite into herself that she would have lost because of what she had to go through. What would she like to invite into her life now?
Mm. Safety. Um, yeah, just a feeling of feeling content and safe and love and joy and feeling a sense of belonging. Just really wants a sense of belonging. Mhm.
So take a moment to bring all of these qualities into every cell of your body and hers.
Yeah, that's, I've done that.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now thank her and also promise her that you are going to be in touch with her every day.
Mhm.
And if there's other thing that she would like to tell and release, she will keep doing over next days, okay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So see if you can now invite back the visceral part. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And ask it, how does it feel now?
It feels relieved that, yeah, no longer frightened of that part, I think.
Now ask it, is there something that needs to happen for you to just be free?
It's just saying that reassurance that me will check in
With the little one.
yeah, with the little one.
Okay. So
That
this,
I won't be flaky, saying that I will be consistent.
okay. Can you promise you will do that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me, how do you feel now?
Lighter. Yeah.
There you
Mm-hmm.
So this is going to be in the recording, so you can hear the recording.
Mm-hmm.
But what you can start doing from tomorrow is just go and visit her every day.
Yeah.
There are
Yeah.
those golden two questions. Is there anything you want me to know? And is there something you want to release into light?
Okay.
And if she says yes, I have this story that I want to release, let her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just spend at least 15, 20 minutes every day with her.
Okay.
Okay.
And that will just be in quiet time, in meditation, or would it be?
Now focus on her. No, just
Okay.
you sit down, take a piece of paper, and say, okay, here you go, my little one. Come in now.
Mm-hmm.
Connect to her.
Yeah.
And then ask her, is there, so first you feel love for her, and then
Mm-hmm.
do you want to say something? And
Mm-hmm.
she may tell you more stuff that she hasn't
Okay.
told you today. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
The first time you visit her after years and years, normally this is why the other one said go to visit her. She's
Mm-hmm.
asking you to visit her because that's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
She
Yeah.
got left out.
Okay.
So she'll
Mm-hmm.
not tell you everything. She will tell you
Of course.
she wants to
Yeah.
she wants you to build a bridge with her.
Of course. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thank you, Manu.
You're most
Really
welcome.
grateful for your time and your patience and your presence. Thank you.
You're most welcome. Hello, Patricia.
Hi, Manu.
Hey.
Doing the struggle that I have and the awareness that really came up for me during today. I have a very I don't know if it's a inner protector part of me, a kind of critical judging part of me that keeps my life always. I'm always busy. I'm always doing something. I can't ever complete something before starting something else. I mean, I always have to start something before that part doesn't want to give me time to really just
Be relaxed.
yes, and the inner part of me, or the struggle, the loss um that I feel, and I think it probably is even from past life, not just this life, is that when I, starting with my mother, this life, going way back to as far as I can remember, and then looking at the pictures of me, time that I can't remember, I've always um felt, I've always been neglected, and so I was attached to this person, my mother, who neglected me and continues to do so present day. And so I was married for 27 years, and that person is still present in my life, but we are divorced, and that person who was male is now female, and I'm still connected to that person. And I've grieved a lot, I feel like, but I'm still connected to that person. And then last year, I had a very bad accident. I had a traumatic brain injury, and connected. I met somebody who was very loving and very kind and really helped me a lot during my recovery time. And as I became stronger and more brain starts really re-engaging, I recognize this person, yeah, is somewhat like my mother, a little bit narcissistic. And this person actually, I went to go visit, and and I got sick with COVID. I didn't know I had COVID, but I flew home, and this person that I have been spending time with for more than a year just completely like disconnected from me. No more contact. Have had no contact. And and that was happened 2 months ago. And I've really felt like I've grieved the loss of the friendship and the relationship with that person. But the inner protector part of me, or that critical part of me, just won't let me go. I feel like I can't let go of these people. My ex-husband, this last person, uh, and my mother. I've set some boundaries with my mother, but she's still always present around me. And so I feel like inner this protector part won't let me move on, won't let me disconnect. And doing the exercise is does it's not trusting of me, like feeling like I can't let you get involved. You shouldn't get involved with anybody or get attached to anybody because they just cause you pain. And that's not how I want to live my life. But I don't know how to release, how to let go of this critical part. I know it's not good, but I'm always living kind of here in a mess. I clean everything up, and then it's paper clutter starts to collect again. It's like I'm always feeling like I can't just be present and be happy. And I always feel like, yeah, that part of is trying to keep me safe and isolating me and only letting me connect to people I've already connected to, even if I have an awareness they're not safe. It still wants me to stay with those people, and I don't know what to do.
Okay. Is it willing to speak now? Ask the question. Is it willing to speak to me?
Um, yes.
Okay. And where do you notice it in your body? Just notice, where do you feel it in your body?
And around my heart, and then around my ribs, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. And the tears you have, this feeling you have, is what kind of feeling do you feel?
It just a sadness. It's just a sadness.
Yeah. So this is a sadness of this part, actually. What you're reflecting is the sadness of this part of you that as you said, it keeps you occupied and busy but doesn't trust anybody because it carries a lot of fear. So if it's willing to speak and talk, and we can have, yeah, maybe we can help it.
Yeah. She's willing to try.
She's willing to try. Okay, thank you for that. So, so I'm now talking to part of Patricia, who feels this sadness in the chest. And tell me, what do you want for Patricia?
I just want her to be safe.
Absolutely. Makes sense. Yeah. And what are you afraid would happen to her?
That she will let people into her lives that aren't safe. She's too trusting.
And then what happens when she lets people into her life that are not safe?
They hurt her,
And then what happens?
and she's sad, and they hurt her, and I don't want her to go through that anymore.
But what is your biggest fear for her?
That she will be in a relationship with somebody who just will hurt her, and she won't be able to leave.
And how do you impact her day-to-day life?
I keep her busy. She always she has a lot of things she has to do to prepare herself for when she gets older and she's on her own. So I keep her busy.
You keep her busy, okay. And do you like playing this role for Patricia, or you're forced to do it?
I've done this her whole life. I've done this her whole life. And she has a memory of me when she's a young girl doing this for her already.
Okay. How old was it when you started to play this role for her?
I think I've done this for her since she's been a baby, but her memory is she was maybe about 8 or 9 years old where she remembers me.
But you
doing this
feel
with
you
her.
started it when she was a baby, really?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so how old was she when you started doing it? Really? Was she 6 months or 1 year or even younger?
Even younger. When she was born, there really was
At the time of the birth.
she wasn't wanted. She needed someone to look out for her always.
Yeah. And this role that you play of protecting her, is it something you like doing, or you have to do it?
I have to do this for her. I have to keep her safe.
Okay. If you had a choice to do something else, would you do that? Because this must be tiring for you.
I have let go. I have let go. And she got into this last relationship, and I thought it would be okay. And then it wasn't okay. And now I'm back,
Yeah.
making sure that I keep her protected because.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I mean, I absolutely understand. And also, Patricia, I think you understand why he's doing it for you, right? Yeah. So just see, Patricia, how do you feel towards this part of you?
I feel sadness that I have this part of me that doesn't trust me.
Yeah. But you understand why it feels this way, right?
I'm not sure.
Okay, so it said that I was able to go out of the previous one, but then she got into this new relationship, and then I had to come back to keep her safe because now I'm afraid that she will get hurt again, and then she would like to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, does it make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. It is doing what it's doing to keep you safe and protected, but does it make sense to you why it's doing it?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make me. It doesn't make my sadness in relationships when there's loss, but there's also sadness in isolating, which is what happens when I'm given so many tasks to do. Um,
Yeah, so there's a
expected to do these tasks all on my own. Um, and
yeah.
so I'm not, it doesn't make me happy. So I don't understand.
Okay, so this is so just for you to know, Patricia, there's another part that came up, which is upset with this part. And it says, well, he makes me do all this task, keeps me busy, and I'm not happy with doing all the tasks. He's not happy with this part. Okay. So see if possible. You acknowledge this part, saying, okay, there's a part of you that is very unhappy with this part making you busy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So see if you can tell to this part, saying, I hear you, that you are not happy with this one who is keeping me busy. But for the moment, see if you can just step away so we can work with her. If he's willing to just step away.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So go back to this part of you. See if you can go back, connect with it, and notice how do you feel towards it. It's been doing since you were born.
I feel compassion towards it, but yeah, I feel compassion towards it.
So can you let it know I feel compassion for you? I know you've been doing this since I was born. There's something there that showed up at the time of my birth. That's how you started, and then you had to come back again when the last relationship went away, and you try and keep me safe by making me doing all the keeping me busy. But it's also tired of doing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now ask it, saying, I feel compassion for you, but are you willing to let us help the newborn? Because that's when it started.
Yes.
Okay. Are you okay to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. And tears are okay. Tears are okay. But these are tears of the little one that you are feeling. Yes. So see if you can connect to that little one. She just came into the world. And just notice how you feel towards her as you look at her. How do you feel as you see her?
I love her. I love her.
Now, check with her. See if she's looking at you or looking away from you.
She's looking at me.
Okay. Tell her, I'm here for you. And ask her if how does she feel about your presence?
She's happy that I'm here.
Now, ask her, and you don't need to say anything to anybody. This is between her and you. Ask her, tell me all the pain and everything that you've gone through, all of it. And I'm here to hear you. And you don't have to worry to overwhelm me, just tell me all your pain. Okay, and you just sit here and hear her tell you every story that she went through, the belief she formed.
Manu, I think I've uncovered a layer.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. I was thinking what she's doing is yeah. Now ask her, what would she like you to do for her if you were with her now?
To be present with her, to see her, and to continue to listen to her.
Beautiful. Can you commit to that?
Yes, I can.
Okay, beautiful. Now ask her, are you willing to leave the time in the past and move to a place where she feels safe again and wanted again?
She said yes.
Okay. Ask her where she wants to go. She can come to you, but she can go anywhere.
She wants to be with me.
Okay. Bring her with you. Have her be with you. And let her know that she will be here now.
Thank you so much.
I know, it's not done. And ask her if she's willing to release all her pain and every belief that she got, if she wants to just be free from it, release it all.
She is. She is.
Okay. Ask her where does she store it in her body.
Shoulders, back, stomach.
Now ask her where does she want to release into fire, water, earth, air, light.
Into water.
Water. Okay. So what you do is create a water body for her and ask her to take it out of her shoulders, out of her back, out of her body, wherever she holds onto it, and release it into water and let it flow away so that she can be free from it.
Wow.
Yeah. Now ask her what qualities she wants to bring in that she lost because of the pain that she was going through. What would she like to bring in?
She's smiling and giggling.
She wants to smile and giggle. Okay. Okay. So bring that
Happiness.
happiness. Exactly. Okay. Bring happiness into every cell of your body and her body. And let her know that we are going to giggle and smile together every day. You'll be in touch with her and you'll stay with her. How's she doing?
She's good. She feels comforted.
There you go. Okay. So now what you do is you go back to the part, remember, where we started with?
Yes.
Okay. And check with it, how does it feel about what happened now?
She feels a little skeptical, but she also has the presence and is also feeling the love, feeling loved, a little more trusting.
A little more trusting, exactly. So ask it saying, okay, what do you want me to do that'll help you to be more trusting and more relaxed? What do you want me to do? Or what needs to happen?
I need you to please take a back seat and
Ah,
let me be present in my life.
okay. Wow. So ask it, so are you willing to change your role in my life?
I'm willing to try.
Okay. Ask it, what role are you going to take on in my life now?
She says, I'll be an observer.
Okay. So we'll give you guidance, your guide, or we'll just observe.
She will just observe for now.
Okay. Okay.
I think she has a fear of of giving me guidance because I think that she is more of a controlling,
Ah,
and she won't be able to just give me guidance. She won't tell me what to do, so she will just
so-
observe for now.
okay. Ask her, how will you tell me what you observe?
She says I will feel it in my body. I will know. I
Okay.
will know
Okay.
if she's accepting.
Okay. So acknowledge that and let her know that I will be in touch with you as well every day, like with the younger one. Okay.
Okay.
Now tell me, Patricia, how do you feel?
I feel like a weight has lifted off of me. I feel like I can get up and have a day today. Like I can, I, yes, this is so helpful. I feel, yeah, I feel like I've turned a corner. Like I took a step forward, and I haven't felt that in so long.
Okay. So these other parts, remember we put them away, okay, ask them to go, who are a bit critical. Just invite them back and saying, tell, is anybody has anything to say or comment to you?
The critical part is still feeling doubt,
Okay. Ask it,
but
ask it, do you have any recommendation? Do you have any suggestion? What do you want me to do? Just be curious.
it's just telling me that I should move very slowly.
Okay. Okay. Ask it, are you willing to be my guide? And, but from a place of compassion and not critic.
He says that she can try.
Okay.
He's willing to try.
Okay. Okay. So just for you to know, Patricia, this part of you, which is critic, also holds a burden and holds some. So what you can do is you can always go back and work with it, like we
Okay.
did today. Okay? Because you can do exactly what we did with the other one, with the critic, and it also holds something somewhere. That's why it's still doubtful at you. And so in your work, there is two things to do. One is to absolutely work with the part that came up and the little girl, the newborn. This is every day. You remember I think I wrote, I put it into a kind of audio, but I will repost. Just run it. Connect to the part, two questions, and then connect to the younger one, two questions, and just stay with that. And the critic, the one that is now saying, just take its name, is saying, okay, I hear you, but I will come and work with you, and you work with it separately. Okay.
Okay.
And just thank them for being here, for voicing themselves, all your system. Thank them all.
Thank you, Manu.
You're most welcome. You're most welcome, my dear. Bravo. Up here.
Hi, I only have 5 minutes, so I'm just gonna come with a question.
Tell me.
I feel that the worst losses I've had, I have actually caused them, so I find it complicated to work with the loss because I made them. I caused them completely. Yeah, so that came up, and so the part that is holding on is actually also accusing me of not really wanting to let go, because there was a perfectionistic part causing the losses. So I just wanted to see if there was any tip on how to work with that, because yeah, I feel completely stuck.
No. And so stay with this one, the perfectionist part, because it has come up you remember, I think we spoke 2 sessions before.
Yeah.
So the perfectionist came in, and I remember it was when you asked the question saying, where did you get it? You got it from your father, if I'm not wrong, right? And it came from somewhere, the perfectionist, okay? And so see if you can say, oh, this perfectionist part of me that comes from somewhere, well, let's work on that. Because the perfectionist is not allowing you to, because then it's judging and saying, well, all the losses are because of you, okay? And as long as it holds a judgment, of course, it'll not allow you to work on the loss, because there's a lesson from that as well, right? And you can't get to it till the perfectionist part allows or relents. And so see what you can do. So the thing is that you acknowledge this and say, oh, you are here. I know, I understand you're there. You come from somewhere. Okay, you hold it in your body. Where it comes from, I think it came from your father. How long have you been feeling this way? What happened then? And go to the little one like we just did. So the perfectionist part is one which is holding the charge and the most charge in your system, and hence is not giving any leverage to anybody else, right? And so you feel stuck. Does that make sense?
Yeah, kind of perfection is false pride, because I basically, crazy enough, I abandoned important people in my life because I didn't feel good enough, and I thought I would be abandoned. And I thought that by abandoning them, I would throw the baby with the bathwater out the window, and I thought that I would get rid of this uh, dependency that I hate. and I would become good enough. And there is an agenda actually. When the people I left, I had the hope of getting back, but I never was able to get back because I never was able to let go of it. So it was like wanting to let go of something
That I
that I'm
don't
not
want to
able to
let
let
go.
go.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't want to let go.
and so it became a mess. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, and I think it's good that you see this and probably right saying, okay, this is what was going on. The perfectionist part is then making me wanting to let go because not good enough. But then actually didn't want them to let, but then it got so complicated because then of course life comes in. And so now there's a lot of blame. There's a lot of inner blame, right?
Mhm.
Okay. And so and at the root is the perfectionist part. Okay. But the perfectionist part is also trying to tell you, well, the reason I'm doing this is because I don't feel good enough. Where does it come from? This is not good enough.
Yeah. But actually, I mean, being an adult and lacking the ability to be present, I objectively feel not good enough because, like, who the hell wants to be with someone that's unable to feel unconditional love? I mean, I know I'm able to have it, but I am not very often in contact with it because I'm scared of being abandoned. So that blocks my ability to be. That's why I want to throw the baby out of the window so that I didn't was not dependent. But this is not a caring part that is doing this. It's the perfectionist, and it's making a mess. Because I have
Correct.
to accept that there is a dependency, but I need to find that connection with myself. And he doesn't trust me because he says, you're saying that you will be present and take care of me, but that's bullshit. You are not taking care of me.
Yeah. Because
you want actually to be perfect so that somebody else would take care of you. So Jesus Christ. I mean, this guy is smarter than me. It's annoying.
So the thing is that as long as this part keeps you annoyed, it will keep you engaged.
Yeah.
You see, you are in the kind of triangle circle, right? You
Yeah.
keep going. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Thank you, Manu.
okay. So in your homework, can you try and make friends with this part of you? Friend.
I can try.
Just friend. And say, okay, we are going to sit, like you go for a beer, and we are going to sit with a beer, and I will write down whatever you tell me, and I promise I'm not going to judge whatever you tell me.
Yeah, probably it will be something else than a beer. I'm an alcoholic. I would become very friends with the perfectionist if I drink beer. So just kidding. Thank you, Manu. I'll do some other drink.
Okay.
I have to leave. Thank you. Lovely. Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care, Pierre. Okay, Akanksha, you were in the queue. Sorry, Corinne, before I go to you, Akanksha was actually in the queue. Akanksha, yeah.
So I have an issue of like being ghosted by people, like friends, and like out of the blue, they will just like we'll have like a very good conversation. I'll connect with them deeply, and then 2 to 3 days later, or a week, or whatever the time is suitable for them, it's like they just drop out of like as if the conversation is not even going slow, it's going like I don't know you anymore, why are you disturbing me? It changes the route to like it takes a 360-degree turn. Not with everyone, I would say. Some people are very like they tell you the reasons that okay, we are busy over here and we have these commitments, and they'll be like they'll give an honest feedback why we aren't available, and it is fine with me whenever somebody just gives me that reassurance that okay, even if it's like somebody says okay, we'll not be available for the next 6 months, even that is okay for me, like. But suddenly somebody is just treating like you like it's a friend, you're sending a message, you're not getting any response. It's
Okay.
suddenly
Okay. So
they were like
one question to you. When you look at so if you can if you write down the names of the people, take the last, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 of them, okay, that have what you call ghosted you. When you look at their names, what is the first? Can you take note? Just write them. Write the names of the last 3, 4 people that ghosted you.
I don't have a pen nearby, but I have that test in my mind.
Head. Okay, so just okay. So as if you're writing on a notepad in your head.
Yeah.
Okay, just write their names. Look at their names, even 2 of them, even 1 of them, if you want to. Okay, and look at the second name. Look at the third name. Look at the fourth name. What is one common thing that you feel when you read those names?
Actually, I took a separate therapy session for this also.
No,
This is,
stay here, stay here, stay here. So
yeah, so that
other,
one thing was that I tend to have, like, when I talk so deeply, and people on the receiving end, they feel I mean, they're not ready for that depth. So what happens is like they kind of cut it in between because they don't want to be seen in that way, the way I am presenting myself. Like if I am being totally open with myself, uh, it makes
okay,
them feel very uncomfortable, and without any reason, they'll just drop
okay,
me.
okay. So so it looks like there's a part of you that overwhelms them, and then they maybe, some of them cannot take it, etc. So this part of you,
And And as a child, it happened the opposite. Like I was aware of this thing. Like when I was a child, I not so consciously aware, but somewhere back in the mind I knew. So I used to talk very less. So I didn't even try to open because I was afraid that somebody might do that. But later on, I was like too quiet, and then I said, "What is happening? I should speak up." And when I spoke, I got these type of responses, and I felt that whole thing
okay,
coming.
correct, okay. So the part of you that was holding first, that is saying, I used to be too quiet and now I speak up, that one, where do you feel it in your body? Just and let anybody else or all others think, guys, can you just step away? I just want to be with this part of me that wants to speak up, that in the early childhood was not willing to speak up, now wants to speak up. See if you can just connect
Mhm.
to this one. Where do you feel it in your body?
Like in terms of mm, uh, like throat, obviously, like
Okay,
there's a section throat, but
yeah,
there's
that's
this
okay.
confidence part also. So that comes from, I think, that gut or something. So those two are connected.
Okay, so there's a part of you, and I'm able to sense it, which is wanting to judge or justify or clarify. And see if you can say, it's okay. There's no judgment here. There is no justification here. I'm just wanting to connect to this part of me that seems to be formed in early childhood, but that seems to be doing something which makes people go away. So I just want to be with it for a moment. Everybody else, step away.
Mm.
Okay.
Every
Yeah.
like
So
uh,
so stay with your throat. You feel it in your throat, right? You felt it.
yeah, unable to speak my truth.
I am able to speak my truth, exactly. So are you okay if I can speak to this part of you that is unable to speak its truth?
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay. So I'm speaking to part of Akansha which is unable to speak its truth, saying, what do you want for her? What do you want for Akansha?
Like the reason she wants to speak the truth is because
Now, what do you
she
want for her?
doesn't go
What do you want for her? Not the reason. What do you want for her, Akansha? What is your intention for her?
for the part that wants to speak the truth.
Okay. So you would like that Akansha speaks the truth.
No, no, I'm not getting the question. Like who am I
You are
right now?
so you are the part that is saying, I want to speak the truth. The one you feel it in
Oh,
your throat.
yeah. So this part is tired of all the like bullshit that's out there. Like people are pretending so much, and it just wants to speak the truth and clarify it in the air and just
Okay,
stop the
got
nonsense
it,
all
got
at
it.
once.
Yeah, okay, got it. What is it afraid would happen to you if it didn't speak up
Mm.
its truth?
It would, if it didn't speak up its truth.
If it didn't speak up its truth, what is it afraid would happen?
Oh, like people would assume that I am co-participating in their nonsense, and I don't see it. Like even though I'm seeing it, but I'm staying silent, they would assume that she's also there, she's also participating, and like the
And,
cycle would continue longer.
and what is the consequence of that for Akansha? What happens then?
She either gets too exhausted and overthinks, or one day she lashes out.
And what happens then if that happens?
Um, so if she lashes out, like which recently in the last 1 year it has happened a lot. Like even if it's festive season right now in Diwali, I was like openly telling my relatives that I don't want to see you, I don't want to meet you. If you come to my home and if you are there, I'll just simply leave. Like I was being that honest, and they said, okay, we are not coming. So
Okay,
um,
so what happens if she lashes out? She loses connections.
she loses connections, maybe or maybe not, but she is like there is this thing that she she would be misunderstood, or others would
Okay,
make sure that she is misunderstood, even if others are not. If
okay.
even if somebody else is respecting her.
And then what happens? What is the consequence if she is misunderstood or assumed misunderstood? What happens then? What is the biggest fear
Uh,
you have for Akansha? What is the
I
big?
mean,
What is the biggest
a
fear?
hyper independence, being isolated, not being able to reach out when you need help.
Okay, okay, that's the biggest fear. And what happens if she cannot reach out when she needs help? What are you afraid would happen?
Yeah, that is the thing that if she cannot reach out when she needs help, then she relies on her, and that hyper independent part, like, okay, I'll do everything by myself. That part is physically exhausting on her.
Okay, so that's what it was going on. Okay, got it. So there's another part which is very exhausted. The hyper independent part is very exhausted. So he's afraid that if this happens, then the other one will, who's already exhausted, will be loaded. Okay, so that's
Like completely crash down, and yeah, or it might overthink scenarios beforehand and get into anxiety so that things go.
uh,
Uh,
and
yeah, so it is taking.
since when this is going on? How old was Akansha when this started?
Mhm.
How old?
Like, I can recall situations where I didn't speak my truth,
Yeah, okay.
but that was very young. like maybe preschool or something. That
Just check with it, saying how old was I and what was going on there.
class, it was like class one or maybe smaller than that, younger than that.
Okay. Ask what was going on then with Akanksha.
Uh, Only one image is coming in my mind right now, but I know there are plenty others. But the image that is coming right now is I I wanted to tell the truth of a situation that somebody did not bully me, but they took my like it was a confusion that I was being bullied, but I wasn't actually. They took my permission. They took and like they thought like my mother thought things were being snatched away from me, whereas they were being taken by permission. So and my mother did not listen to me. She was like in her own head, and she went and lashed out at the other child, and the other child stopped talking to me because they had taken permission, and I was too young to even analyze this situation because I thought how can my mother be so stupid? Like I had this idea that she's an adult and like she wouldn't. I didn't even know that she would go and complain. Like yesterday, I thought it would end in the room, and I lost a connection. And then that child provoked other children not to talk to me, and like it just spread out that
Oh,
like this is one incident I remember, but obviously there were others also.
okay, so what I want you to do is following Akanksha, okay? And you do this because there's a lot which goes on in your head, which is okay, is what you do, right? You can do it afterwards, is you go and list down and write down, take a piece of paper and write down all the things that the little Akanksha had to go through, and just make sure that you're like an observer. You're not judging, okay? And just be an observer and just witness it for her. Just witness everything because there's a lot that is going on there, and as there is another part that keeps coming back, I would like you to just take a moment and just write it down. Writing.
I have done this thing, like I have tried it earlier, and but even after that, it repeats. Like I,
I,
what is
I,
like the
I,
thing that
I know, I understand that.
I'm,
And the reason it repeats is because that little one has not been fully witnessed. And then after being witnessed, there has been no change in her programming. She's still stuck there. Okay. And so what I want you to do is you can take this session itself and just before you start the session, okay, the one that before we did with any of the younger one, what you do is you write down, you witness it, and then you help her to be free. The reason why it repeats is because she's still stuck there. She has been, the cycle is repeating itself, okay? And so that young one, as she's stuck there, you are not, this is why there is so much of, this strong judgment around everything.
I like in my job later on, I started to speak the truth just like anything. Like people stay quiet, and I was like the I don't know what you call that person who there is a word for it, right? I'm just not remembering it. Who ends up telling the truth of the situation? I was that person. Like I was surprised by how many. Why are people keeping their mouths shut when somebody needs something needs to be said? And So I became really vocal over there, and I tried to work with that part, and like it became so open that now it is open like anything, and it would not care whether the other person is being hurt or not. I mean, it does care, but still, at the moment when it's speaking the truth, it would not care. It would speak its truth and move on for that moment. But later on, it would feel bad.
Yeah, correct. So this is what happens is the reason it is speaking out not from a place of compassion. It is speaking out either it is angry because the little one is very angry. The little one who got into that story has been angry, and so you carry that ang. So the what you call as I
Anger.
speak the truth
Okay.
is not, you're not speaking the truth. It is that little one which is so angry that she basically makes you speak the truth. Okay, and then of course there's a consequence, there's a lashback, and then you get into that situation where people, as you say, ghost you out. Okay, and so this is the outcome, the consequence. The root is that little one that is stuck, but she has a lot of stories to say, a lot. Okay, and because she was unable to speak, because somebody made her feel, as you said, okay, that she was not guilty and made her feel guilty, or and now she wants to speak the truth because that is what she thinks is the only way she will not have to face those consequences she faced as a little one. Okay, and so she is the one who is speaking out, most likely in
I
anger.
mean, in coping mechanism also, like even if I'm not able to get to the complete root of it, which I don't think so, because it might have like so many branches and it might be so deep that I can only go to the like bare minimum. I can dip my feet into it, but I can't go uh, till the depth of it. So I'm just asking, like, if okay, if in future I get the same thing that I share my depth with someone and I get the other person gets triggered in their own ways, which I know, like I'm not triggering directly. It's something within them that's getting triggered. Like my words and my depth is like that, that it is getting triggered. For example, I'm sharing my family issue with someone. Now, what
Hold
happened?
hold on,
They
hold
are
on.
not even listening to me. They are hearing as their own family issue, and then they will be, oh, we will not talk to her because she reminds us about that and she makes us feel bad about it. And we were okay with we were complacent so far, so let's not just talk to her. So that
Okay.
happens.
Okay, so let's hold on to that one. When you are saying things to other, pointing and saying, I am telling the truth, do a check within yourself. Why am I doing this? Am I doing from
I
a
need help.
so
I need help.
am I doing from a place of compassion, or am I doing from a place of anger, or I'm doing from a place of I need to be heard? Okay. So why am I doing?
Heard,
What is my motive?
heard, and
So you see, so which means you have to go and find within the little girl that wanted to be heard. She is speaking out and she's having justification that I have to say it out. I don't care about what other people feel because she she wants to be heard. The thing is that because she doesn't do from a place of compassion, and she will invariably hurt others. Okay, she will invariably hurt others because people are not hearing the 2-year-old or 1-year-old that got said things wrong. They are hearing an adult speaking like a 2 3-year-old. Okay, and so they perceive that, and they are looking at you and they're saying, "Why is she saying that to me?" You are not knowing. It's like as if you become the 2-year-old and now the 2-year-old speaks out. Okay, And so the conversation goes from being not being compassionate anymore, and they become personal or attacky or however your 2-year-old is feeling that time, okay? Or the 4-year-old, the one in the first class, okay? So she gets triggered and hence she speaks out. So your work is not about the people. People is okay. Your work is about this little girl that wants to speak up but is unable to speak up and is angry. You have to work with her, find out what all she has gone through and help her, heal her. It's not about people. As soon as you go,
No, it's not only about being heard. Sometimes I need genuine help and
no,
uh,
it
like
doesn't. This is how it is trying to justify. This is how it's trying to justify that you need general. See, what you don't know is at what moment the 2-year-old or 3-year-old comes up and starts to speak. And then you say, I was here to help her out, and etc. But your tone has changed. Your tonality is,
I am totally getting that you are saying that the ghosting is happening because of the 2-year-old's anger, but what I am saying, my intention, like
I
the
know, I
adult's
understand.
intention is
It's to
to
help
get
her.
some tangible help and resources.
I'm with you, absolutely. The intention is that. However, that's why we, in this work we ask, what is your intention? Its intention is there, but it is held into that place because there is a 2-year-old which is an exile as we call it, and she's still stuck there, and she doesn't feel heard, and she wants to get heard, and she's angry because nobody, or she was wrongly accused, or whatever she had to go through. Her pain is still your pain. And so what happens is you may go with an intention of I'm trying to help, then this little one gets triggered, and then she has a free for all, and then there's a lashback because when they get ghosted, then of course you feel terrible and you get angry at this little one who came out and spoke. And so she is stuck there, and hence you're stuck there. Okay?
I get the whole cycle, but there was some question just came into my yeah. If I have to hear her, like I don't understand really now how to like sit with that part because
Okay, can I
what
give you an
even if
exercise?
I try,
Hold on. Can I give you
even if I try, like I'll try to tell what goes in my mind. It's like I'm not there. What
there you go.
can I do for you now?
Yeah, there you
It
go.
happened.
Yes. Okay. So can I give you an exercise and then we do next time?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to post it into WhatsApp group. I don't know if you're there or not. Okay. Uh, there's a writing exercise. I want you to write for 3 days following that exercise. Just write. And the topic is all that the 2-year-old wants to say out. You just write and you burn what you write. My sense is that your protector is too active and is not even allowing you to go there for the moment. Okay? It needs to calm down. It needs to bring you into some sort of balance. We talked about it last time as well. Okay? That's what you need. You need to be able to be grounded here. Okay? Then it will allow you to be able to work with the 2-year-old, etc. Okay? It goes everywhere, and then all others come in, and then, as you say in your head, it's like there's a I know you speak in the khichdi going on. There are too many things, and then it gets very crowded, and then you may feel frustrated, saying I'm not being heard. But the point is the 2-year-old. Okay.
Okay. And for the last one, I did try that. So I tried with the tree
Grounding.
also. I
Yeah.
tried running also. I tried all that. But the only thing that was working for me was like when you said, "Na, you can't hear me." It was actually true. I could not hear you. Then I started to read the captions, because it was so emotionally charged. I said maybe I can read the captions and get it as a dialogue.
There
And
you go.
then the only statement that stood out was, there is no fire. And when I kept repeating that in my mind, there is no fire, there is nothing happening, that brought me back into the present moment more than anything else. Like when I just
So you have a
repeated, there is no fire.
so you have a very, very fertile, very active protective part that actually doesn't allow you to go deep inside because it's afraid of something. And I think it has to go back to the 2-year-old. So do one thing, do the writing. 3 days, it's a 3-day work. You write, you burn, write, burn, write, burn. It will allow you to calm down, to be here. Okay?
Okay,
Don't
thank
do
you.
so. Don't do so.
Yeah.
Thank you. Corinne,
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing really well. I came into the session experiencing some disassociation, even when I was trying to do the exercise and you were asking the questions. And then during the sound healing, I think I was under for like an extra 15 minutes before I came out completely. And I felt like a lot of stuff had shifted very much, almost like encapsulated in water. I was like, where am I? And then I could still hear the conversation. I'm like, oh, the session's still going on. I wonder what part we're in. So I was like, I'll just raise my hand and whenever it shows up, I'll be ready. I would love to know what was happening. I do know uh, there was an experience earlier in the week that involved safety. And a friend of mine yesterday had mentioned to me that she was going to be bringing her kids to the location where the incident had happened. And it triggered me very deeply. And I just called her and I was like, do not take the girls there. And I don't want to get into any of the details because I did report it and I did stay to make an identification, but it wasn't handled properly at all. Like they gave the person a verbal warning and 8 more people came forward and like, we saw everything that happened. Like the police should have been called. That's, you know what I mean? Like that type of situation. And I haven't felt okay um since I told her yesterday around 3 o'clock. I didn't have lunch, I didn't have dinner. All I did was sleep because I had planned to talk to her about it after I spoke to my therapist on Tuesday. Because I know myself and I know I have to use my tools to ground. But the minute she mentioned children, I'm like, nope, nope, gotta tell her. And she thanked me for letting her know, and she put a warning in the parents group. So something will come of this at some point.
Yeah.
But I came into this session very hard to focus. And I was like, well, I guess we're gonna work on not being able to focus. And I guess it's a dissociative episode. We've been here before, but it's been a long time. So uh, yeah, I didn't even pick a particular topic regarding grief because so much is encapsulated in that. But I just thought it was really interesting because I laid down. I normally sit in my chair while we do the sound healing, but something was like, go lay on the couch. And that was definitely the right decision. And I heard you in the beginning and I was following the breath, and then all of a sudden I was somewhere else. And when I came back in, something had been processed in my brain because I don't think I sound like I'm dissociative right now, and I've been listening to everybody else speaking, and I was like, okay, maybe stuff got done inadvertently that normally you would help guide me with if I was still feeling dissociative. So I would love for you to tell me what happened, basically.
Uh, but today, what was very interesting with the sound, uh, it felt, and I think I repeated it to everybody. I probably said it twice because it wanted me to repeat to everybody that I think a lot of people that are here have that aspect of I was not wanted or I was not welcome, okay, because one of the parent or both of the parent were in certain state, their crisis, because it felt in the head, so father definitely, but then the little one said, you know what? Defiance. I'm here and I'm going to be here and I will make this life worthwhile. That was the sentence, or more or less. The word was defiance. And then it took some time to bring it in, okay, in the beginning. But the moment it brought in, then it took me to the birth and it said, let the little girl or boy know that you are welcome here because you are. And then it just went to 17, 18 years old and then present moment, and that's it, which has been most, it's the fastest it already told me the big thing is for today's session, we have done the work. The rest is small things, you can work on it, but done. And to me, it looks like it's like the permission to be here. So I don't know if that makes sense. But
No, I'm glad you said that because I didn't hear it because I was probably still in La La Land when that was happening. But I agree because I was not supposed to exist. My mom was supposed to have a hysterectomy. She was supposed to be infertile due to infections from my sister, and my uncle dreamed that I existed, and my mom's like, "Well, that's just not possible." And then the doctor found me and was like, "You're not infertile. We can't do the hysterectomy. You're pregnant." So the doctor had offered to abort because they didn't think I could be born healthy under those circumstances. And yeah, I was supposed to be 3 months early, not have my lungs, all the horrible stuff. I was like, wow. Well, and then I ended up being a fast birth, and my mom didn't even have to push me out. I jumped out when I was ready. So it was not a standard, easy, normal anything going on.
so,
So the word defiant is used to describe me quite often in a negative way, but like whatever. I was born defiant is something I've often said. I was like, if I had a tattoo with words, it would say I was born defiant because I certainly was.
okay, so
So
that's what it was. And it's said for everybody, saying whoever you are here and you defy, have the sense of defiance to be present, and I will make this life worthwhile. Okay, I don't care what you said at that time, because I've been carrying that burden for so long that I was
yeah,
not wanted or needed. But now I'm here, and then as soon as it released that, it went easy. So that to me was in my, at least from, because we do it every time, but it was the biggest moment of freedom from the pain of the grief or the sadness that is being held.
I hear you on that for sure. I know when we were doing the last session with the grief, um, like I didn't speak. I know a lot of people were suffering with it, and I wasn't experiencing suffering. I felt like a lot of overwhelming compassion
Yeah.
for my mom and my dad, even though no to what they've done, it's not acceptable. But one thing that I do, because I mentioned I have that Finch app, the bird FINCH, and I can put task in there. So every morning I say I understand. Not that I accept, not that it's okay.
This is good.
That's what they get from me. I understand why they are the way they are, because I do understand it. But it was also their choice to not do the work to heal and to recover and to push it on their kids. So that gets no points from me. But it's definitely a lot lighter.
Hmm.
And I can like I said, I understand every morning. Well, I say I love my father until I feel my energy rise. But then for my mom and my dad, I understand. I understand. That's what they get. I understand the childhood. I understand the upbringing. I understand you love the way you know how. And I also understand that you can't be in my life because there's nothing positive that comes from that. And it's really an important distinction that I've been working on for, past 2 weeks. I like it.
Beautiful. Wonderful. Well done.
Okay. If there's anything else I should know, please let me know. I will listen to the recording because obviously I missed some good stuff.
Yeah.
I was processing. But thank you for this. It's nice to not need to wait till Tuesday in therapy to try to work out what happened yesterday. So I really appreciate having a little bit more space for the rest of the weekend. And thank you.
Welcome. Thank you, Corinne.
Mhm.
Hello, Stack.
Hi, Manu. How are you?
Good.
Thank you so much for the session. You know, the stuff that really hit me and worked through was my abandonment issues here. As I was moving through the grief, I kept flopping back of grief of the death of my mother who raised me, but really the grief of relationships, friendships, and that's where I got the most work done. And I had a situation that I feel the same in. I feel unheard, unseen, abandoned, and it's husband, friends, and family, you know. And what I came up with is that really critical part of me being so critical, always trying to be the very, very best. Busy, 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 busy. I'm busy, busy all the time doing something, looking for acceptance. Um, like it was almost like somebody saying, you know, can you see me? Can you hear me? Am I enough? And what triggered that whole thing with the grief of the loss is I visited a friend and we spend a lot of time talking about our stuff, like aware of our little pieces of ourselves. So I kind of thought that she really understood me, but by me visiting her, put her in her bad spot, you know, of her issues. And man, oh man, I got home after about 2 weeks, she went after me to tell me all the stuff that I did in my dysfunctional way of being, which was, I want to be I want to be helpful. I want to help you. You're a single mom, so I want to help you. How can I help you? Can I fix this? Can I do that? Can I? And I just wanted to help. But she didn't see it as help. She saw it as me putting her down, me criticizing her, you know. And even as I tried to tell her, whoa, 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 wasn't my intention, I apologize, she was hearing nothing of it. And I had to process, wow, am I going to lose this relationship? Like, do I need to walk away from this because it doesn't feel good? But I decided, you know, I need to stay here and feel it and try to work through what is it about me that I jumped into that space,
Wow.
you know?
Wow. That's good. Brave. Very brave. But your decision is perfect
Mm,
because running away would not bring you into the awareness. But it doesn't mean that you don't protect yourself, but it's good that you go into understanding of what happened there. Little bit like what we were talking before,
hmm
but okay. So as you stayed into, you still is with contact with her, and
Yes.
okay, so the trick for you is when she quote unquote attacks you or
hmm
tells you things, whatever she does, okay, what you do
hmm
is you immediately say, okay, this is her story, but what's going on within me?
hmm
And who inside of me is getting triggered? And if I can take, so thank you, my friend, to bringing this awareness to me. Now you to put the friend up on the side, and now you go deep inside of you, and you do the process that any of them that you have done, okay? Because there, the good thing is your friend, and you tell to your system saying, she's here for me to test what she brings within me. I work through it, and then I will go back and test again. And so it
hmm
it allows you to do. Now, and I know we are talking intellectually, but what I've observed so many times is that what she triggered in you creates is like, and like I was saying before to Akansha, okay, your 2-year-old or your 4-year-old wakes up because that's the one who gets triggered, okay, and then now you're suddenly no more this adult, but you're the 2-year-old, okay, which is speaking to her, and that starts to, it's no more an adult, because even herself, what got triggered in her was also another 2 or 4-year-old of her, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And now there are these 4-year-old, 2 4-year-old who are having conversation. So imagine, right, there's absolutely no, it's like she's speaking her language and you're speaking your language, and both of you are speaking Chinese and Greek.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so that's why you put her, you say, okay, thank you for the trigger. Now you do your work, understand who inside of you got triggered, work with her, whatever age she is, listen to her, listen to her story. Maybe she's holding on to something, nothing to do with a friend, but to do with, I think the word you use is not being heard. Okay. So that's it's a classical at home that you can have that. I was not heard, nobody wants to hear me out, or I was asked to stop, like we were talking with Akancha. And then you go, so once you have done your work, then you go to her and check with her. Because the moment you adult is speaking to a 4-year-old of a other one, the conversation is going to be of compassion. It's not going to be, a triggered one. And so her stance towards you will change.
Mm-hmm. And when you say go to her and test it, it's me sharing with her what I found out for myself.
Even any conversation will. I'm not so sure that she gets triggered only for that. I think she gets triggered with many things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because what I was able to pull out from there
Yeah.
was like I was immediately transported to being a kid and trying to please my mother, trying to be enough. I'm going to be helpful enough. I'm going to make her happy.
There you go. So
You know,
how old is this little
probably about 6.
there? So the 6-year-old
Mm-hmm.
who wants to make her mother happy is the one who is traumatized. This is the exile.
And I could see what she kept saying to me was, I don't let anybody be my friend. I don't let anybody in my world. I invited you into my world and you turned it upside down, blah, blah, blah. Like I could see like, whoa. And I immediately apologized to her. I am so sorry. I understand that you invite me in your world was a big risk. And I apologize if I hurt or offended you. Like that's what I could say. And I was so hurt because she shared with me stories where she was being super helpful, and somebody kind of smashed her down, and that she knew how that felt. And I said to her, hey, that story you told me how you were in this situation, how awful you felt, I feel like that right now. I feel like that right now. And I said, I'm not okay. I got to work this out. I'm not okay.
Okay, so there's a reason why you are two friends, because both of you probably come
Mm-hmm.
from the same hurt,
Absolutely.
differently. Okay, and so there's a reason. I mean, what you're talking about is classically I see when I work with couples. I mean, it's exactly the same thing, because this is what they do. They have the same story, but not coming from the same source. Your comes
Mm-hmm.
from your mother, her story comes from probably her father, whatever, wherever it comes from. They're different stories, but you have exactly same hurt as young one. And when the either yours or hers gets triggered, then immediately the other one will go in also into trigger mode. Of course. As long as the conversation was compassionate and loving, everything is okay. The moment one gets triggered, because something you would have said may have just triggered, and then of course you would have said it probably knowing or unknowingly, uh, because when you're narrating your story, you are probably triggering already your young one. So she gets anxious or she gets, angry or whatever, and you don't notice. And so she went back and rewinded and heard something, and then boom, she came. So how do you recover that?
Mm-hmm.
You work first within yourself, because you are the 6-year-old is the one that you need to have nothing to do with her. This is your life, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then you go back and test water with her. And you can
Mm-hmm.
test water just about this incident itself.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you are not anymore in your 8-year or 6-year-old self, okay, you are going to be compassionate. And her system will see it.
Mm-hmm.
The real issue between all communication between people is with, except me, everybody can see me.
Mm.
Because my emotion, my younger one, my etc. is in my eyes, is in my expression, it's in my tone. All parts are just not words. They are into your personality. If you go into polyvagal theory, it explains so beautifully how everything gets expressed through your eyes. Okay. And everything is here. Everything can be seen. But I can't see myself, right? You can't see yourself. But her system is seeing you
Mm.
and will look at that and immediately takes notice. I don't know if you've seen the movie Inside Out 2. It's a very nice, it's an excellent one, where there is a scene where there are 3 friends, girls who are talking, and then the inner system sees her eyes change a bit, say, oh, she's hiding something. That's how it works.
Mm.
That's how
And
it
when you
works.
say for me to do my work, um,
6-year-old.
what can I
Or
do with the 6-year-old?
you have to help her, heal her.
Mm-hmm. And is there one of the meetings that you had that I could do that
Today one. Take the one today,
today?
okay?
Okay.
Just today. No, the one of this Q&A, okay? When we worked with Nadia's, or take any of them and just flow with that. It has
Mm-hmm.
everything,
Okay.
okay?
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
You're most welcome. Brooklyn,
Hi, Manu, everyone. I tried to work with the part, like make a choice about what was a loss. And the biggest loss was my physical health, which I don't think it was a loss. It was just I was not born with it. But I couldn't reach any parts. I couldn't really choose like anything that that really I could work with. But that often happens with
okay,
when I'm in my
so
head.
so just one question. Can you, if you go into we'll post a recording, because this one is key, what you just said. It's one of your biggest story. But I want you to work with it repeatedly. It's like, okay, my loss is my health, but I was not born with it. Fair enough. Okay. Now, what energy it holds in your system? Because it kind of, it looks like it's a loss that you don't want to let go.
Well, I thought about that, but I don't think that's true because I've done so many things to help myself.
But there's something which is holding it still back within you.
Well, I mean,
So it's like
um,
it's like it's the one that you're clinging to and I know it sounds it may sound not correct, but it looks like letting it go has a consequence for you.
It might, but that's not something I can access consciously. I mean,
Try.
um,
So letting go of, so loss of health is the loss that you're looking for. Okay. What is keeping you attached with this?
I didn't hear what you said.
So loss of health is your
Well, I
loss.
wasn't born with it. At 5,
I was born with it. Okay, correct. I was born with that.
At 5, I had one sickness after another, after another, after another, after another, and I didn't have proper medical care, and I wasn't diagnosed.
Okay, and so this is the loss, right? Because that created the loss of health.
And out of that came the dependence and on being quote unquote disabled. And all of that came the housing and the homeless. Out of the loss of health, it all came, all of it. Yeah. If I can describe what it feels like in my body, it's something very heavy and dark and depressive.
Okay, where do you feel it in your body now? This dark, depressive.
I feel like I'm in a bubble of it, but mostly, I mean, there are many times where it lifts, but there's still that part
Yeah, where do you feel it?
that doesn't.
Yeah, it's there because you're sensing it. It's dark. You can feel it.
I think it's mostly in my throat that I feel. Well, depression is just that diagnosis for whatever the reason people have it is known to cause sadness, fatigue. It is a heaviness. The diagnosis itself, no matter where it comes from.
Yeah, correct. But that diagnosis, when you think about that diagnosis, where does it feel it in your body? The diagnosis itself.
My legs and my throat.
Your legs and your throat, okay. And as you connect to that diagnosis in your legs and your throat, how do you feel towards it?
I don't.
Are you
Sadness.
you're sad? Okay, yeah, yeah. So that's the part that's holding the sadness. Okay. So see if you can acknowledge that there's a part of me which is about the diagnosis I got that is sad, that holds sadness in it. And me, Melanie, Brooklyn, I am looking at objectively. I feel it in my legs, I feel it in my throat. Can you do that? Just observe, objectively curious.
Can't connect to it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, when you said that, I started to connect to it when you.
Yeah.
Something connected, but then
Yeah,
what's been happening is also.
No worries. There is too much of, let all the judgment and everybody tell all of these other voices saying, guys, can you please go to the waiting room? I will hear you afterward, but now just can we connect to this diagnosis? You can tell them politely, saying, just give me some space for 10 minutes.
There's this intense fear that comes up. Like I'm supposed to be able to do something.
Yeah. So it's like there's a judgment there.
Right, but I feel like the judgment is coming from other people as well.
Yeah. So ask all those voices of other people's judgment and everybody think, can you just please give me 10 minutes? Just 10 minutes. And let me just stay with this diagnosis part. But you feel it in your legs, in your throat.
I feel it in my heart.
And your heart. Okay. Notice how do you feel towards it now.
I really can't feel anything.
Okay. That's okay. That's okay.
I
Do
mean,
you feel your legs, the sensation in your leg when you think about diagnosis? And in your throat, in your chest?
yeah, there's a heaviness there, and I
Heaviness.
would describe it as a sadness and a very intense fear,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
and maybe some programming that there would be consequences if I got well or something. But I feel blamed when I hear like I'm holding on to it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much healing out there I'm aware of. It's also I don't have access to it.
Yeah, this is other voices that are coming back now. That is kind of starting to judge and say, yeah.
Well, I'm seeing people on this IFS chat and they're using this polyvagal. They're able to use that. They must have some income. They're in therapy. They have resources. I feel like I have nothing.
Hmm.
Like I have a flimsy, like I'm this is how I really feel. I'm in the ocean and I'm dog paddling and I'm just waiting to drown because I don't even have a life preserver.
Yeah. Yeah. So that, and well, I'm with you. I feel you. I understand what you feel.
I did get some, I received pieces of help. It's not that there has been no help, it's just that the greater picture is, like I've talked about system generated problems, so I thought about this. If, if my physical health got markedly better, whatever, and I'd still be in the same position I am with the housing and all of that, because I have no marketable skills. So it's like everything is connected to each other. And the infrastructure, there's no real infrastructure there.
Yeah. The thing, and I hear you. I mean, I'm not going to. I mean, there's absolutely, you're right. The only thing is that you are the biggest resource there is for you. You is the biggest resource for you. And we talked about it a few sessions ago. And I think the thing was that, are you able to give a little bit of leverage to something called trust within, so that it can start to show you small signs of improvement or small signs of change, and then you start going to process. Because I don't know the world as such, but I have a sense that resources is an outcome as well of where you are within you. Okay.
Yes, it's
And
all connected. Yeah.
it is all connected because something and I don't want to go into the point where say, well, you are victim or it's your fault. No, because that's a wrong perception. This is a wrong dialogue, and there's nothing. There's To me, it's much more about you saying to yourself, because there is a belief that has been inculcated, it brought into you, pumped into you, like you have taken it up, that I need resources to be well, right? And missing of resources means lack, and lack means frustration, and I cannot do it, da, da, da. And so you see, it makes you end up spending energy into a system that is probably by design is designed to keep you stuck there.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. I have a friend with a developmental disability, and he's in the exact same situation I am for different reasons, but it's exactly the same because of what he was born with.
And the thing is, and I know it's not the same story, but I'm working with, and some of you, if you're here, with the guy who 28-year-old jumped into water and broke his C5 and paralyzed neck down.
Wow.
It's paralyzed neck down. I mean, it's a young boy, just paralyzed. But that boy, and we're working now 3.5 years now. And the whole system, everybody said that you are the best we will be able to do for you is to maybe make you work with your wheelchair. Best. Okay. And so I used to do and work with him, in the role of coaching and guidance and healing or whatever, and would meet him once a week. That boy started to say to me, "I don't believe in this. I need you to help me to walk. I don't want you to help me to stay into this place." Okay. And this is 3.5 years ago. Huh? He was paralyzed, neck down. He could not move anything. That boy, I will share with you he's starting this week to do Instagram. That boy is starting to be with crutches. He's walking 100 meters, 200 meters. He's done a nice challenge that every time somebody follows him, okay, he walks 113 centimeters or something like that. So he's able to walk 100 meters. And the reason I'm giving you that example, Malini, is because the thing I saw in him was the whole system was designed to make him on the wheelchair. Everybody. And he basically refused. And resources were found. He got the treatment. He comes every week to Corinth Healing. I mean, you cannot, it's like I used to run, he had a 40 people family. I used to do meditation with all his family. Dutch people, they never meditate, literally looks like. And they all started to come together, and slowly, progressively, in 3.5 years, the boy walks on crutches and is considered a miracle by the medical world. But as I've observed him from the day one, okay, after his accident, the only thing, what I'm saying to you is what I've witnessed. It's not something, I'm not going into La La Land and telling you something which is like, I believe in it and I trust in it. I think we underestimate this system called human. From wherever you can be, however down in the hole you may find yourself, if you start to trust and believe, everything starts to happen for you.
I always believed in what you were saying. I never
I know.
not believed that. It's that at a certain point, I felt knocked down and unable to get back up.
Okay, and I understand because we have been talking, but the only thing I ask your system to give you is a bit of leverage, okay, of 15 days, 1 month, I don't know, and say, trust me that I want to try out for 1 month, and I just give me that, and then I will come back to you and show you, okay, but give me that because it doesn't give you me, the moment you start, it comes in and pump it, okay, and it
I don't understand what you're asking of me. Like,
trust. You have so which means you start to say to yourself, sorry, I apologize, I need to be more clear. It's like you start to ask yourself saying, I trust that my body, and despite everything, whoever says no resources, I am this, I'm dependent, the government, whatever, that is outside, but this inside is going to, for next 1 month, trust that things will start to get better because I believe in myself. I trust on me. And I trust on me. And every time this thought comes in, no, you cannot, no, sorry, can you please go out for 1 month? We are in this mode of trusting. It's like, I don't know if it's like you create your altar where basically the only thought you will allow to be held most of the time is we are going to find. We trust. I trust me. Because it cannot come from me for you to start having changes in your life. It doesn't work. But when it comes from you within, I've seen the outcome. And wherever you may be in the chain of story. So just to give you a context of this, okay, about why I'm saying that. So this guy, whose name is Christopher, so he came in 3.5 years ago, he started working. So 2 years ago, he got up from and he stood up, okay, about a year and a half ago. There's another woman in our group. She's been 30 years paralyzed from neck, 30 years, okay? And she saw Christopher's story, and within months, her hands started to work and started to move. She's worked with the top guys, with everybody that you can imagine on the planet. Nothing helped her. And then she saw his story, and something started to change inside her body. And she started to move. And she just, I think, few months ago, she got married. Just to give you the context. And so I'm not saying it out of blowing out of my hat just like that. I'm saying because I have seen it. The only thing that you have to do, whatever you can do, and this is for everybody who is here, by the way, in however dark place you may be, if you start to give chance to yourself, trust, this body, this system that is here is just a miracle in itself. Food for thought for you. Try.
I identified when you were speaking, I don't know which was a woman about a part that was very angry.
Ah.
And
what is she saying? What
I
is
don't
she
know,
angry about?
it was someone on here that you were speaking with, and
Okay.
I
Yeah.
had fallen asleep. So I have some parts that erase spiritual information out of my head. They just take an eraser and erase it. And I'm starting to notice it didn't used to be this way. It's only been since I'm not blaming IFS, but since I come into IFS and found in my parts, there's one part that erases information. And there's one part that puts me to sleep also. So I fell asleep and then I woke back up, and then I heard you speaking with her and I was identifying with that part. And I saw that that's the part that is causing distress in my life.
Here you
And
go. Good. And good. If you found that part, now
yeah,
what you have to do is to become, I think I am this investigative journalist. I want to discover more of you. I want to know why you're so pissed off and angry. I want to go deep into your story. And it doesn't matter how much anger you hold, I'm going to go deep inside and find more about you. It's brilliant if this comes across.
well, there's a friend of mine who's an IFS therapist, but she has other types of therapy, and she brought up the things about the circles, about drawing circles, about what is not in my control, what is in my control, and in the middle, what influence I have. And then someone in a 12-step program in the same few days, so I know it was divine intervention, it's called locus of control. And so that part that you brought up to another woman on today, that's the part that's what I could identify with. Like, what can I do given my circumstances? And I said, I can't understand this. I need something tangible. I can't just do this in my head. And then someone drew the circles for me. Someone posted a video from another therapist, and she talks about the locus of control. And see, that makes sense to me because there's something tangible I can work with.
Yeah,
Because that's how my mind works.
I
Like,
know. I've seen that.
I can't do vague. I don't know what, like, vague, it just drives me crazy.
I know. But this is
Vague,
another part of you. But anyway, because this is another part which has which says, oh, vague drives me crazy. But
well, vague was part of the abuse, and the part of the
there you
abuse
go.
messages.
This is pain. Exactly. But
So
if you acknowledge it, saying, I understand why you don't like vague, why you don't like to be vague, because it was part of the abuse, it will normally it kind of calms down because it says, okay, you got me. You understand why I'm there as I am.
part of the depression is starting, I could feel it, it lifts. It's been lifting now. But I think for me, underneath it all is really fear. And there is this fear that, I mean, I'll try this and I'll try that. And I don't know, I just feel like
I will, yeah. It's a
I,
fear of if nothing works, then what happens?
yeah, that's probably what it is. When you're describing the two people who are paralyzed, that's, I, I never not believed in healing like that. That is not where I was coming from. But there are a lot of messages like, there's no hope, you're a hopeless case. Like, all of that is, I call it victim mentality. And it is pretty strong out there.
But the thing is that all of that is the one that has created burden for you. Because every time you heard and it got repeated, now it's a belief system. So
Yeah,
this is trauma. Okay? Every time somebody said, you took it and believed in it, so trauma. The example I was giving of Christopher is doctors. And I remember I've been in a meeting where all the specialists around him were telling him, you have to let us work on your hand so that you can drive the wheelchair. And he would say, I will not let you touch my hand I want you to first start with my feet because I am going to walk. You see, so, and the reason I'm making that point to you is that I understand that the current state of Brooklyn is a culmination of all those so many things that have happened to her, which is why she is where she is. Okay, but that doesn't mean that gives her a path of where she will be. She has the ability to take into her hand and change the course of her path. She's I I strongly believe that every single one of us has that capability to do. It's just it has to be such a strong belief saying, I know I'm in shit, I'm in a hole, I'm in a no hope situation. Doesn't matter. I will fight it out. And even if I have to do one step at a time, I'm willing to do. And the argument that I've tried everything and nothing works is not an acceptable argument in that. I mean, this is what you have to agree inside you. Say, no, I understand. That's past. Now I've taken decision. I only want to look forward. And I will bring this into I will do that. I trust myself. I give myself time. And I'm going to do it. Because one of the things Christopher used to ask me the same question, saying, Manu, can you tell me when I will be able to walk? This was his first question. When I said, you are going, he said, tell me when. And I said, I can't. The only thing what I can tell you is that you keep doing the right things. You set your mindset correct. You do your physical work, you do your exercise, you do your stuff, you holistic, and you commit to it, your body is going to show up because his brain. So what happened is when he cut they cut the C5, they did a surgery and they put a kind of a steel box there, which cut off his nerves. And basically what they said is that his body will have to redevelop alternate nerve pathways so that he can sense basically his limbs and etc. He's done it in 3.5 years. Okay, that's what I'm telling.
Right, but I'm pointing out that he has a family that supported him and he has doctors
He,
uh,
I
and a house to
to
live in.
me, to me, yes, you're right in that way. But the other woman who saw his story had all of that and nothing changed. And the moment she saw it, she decided, and then within a few weeks she started to move. So I know what you're saying. See, the thing is that your
I'm
sister.
not saying it as an excuse. I'm saying that I don't think it's my physical, well, okay,
I agree.
I think it's my external circumstances oppressing me. And my body collapsed this June. And they want to take my knee out, but there's no supports for me to come out of the operation, so I can't have the operation, which I really don't want anyway. But I'm saying I don't, like my cartilage is gone in my knee. So that's usually people have a knee replacement. But in order to have a knee replacement, I have to have people around me to help me get out of bed. And like I don't, so I have not chosen that.
Yeah, no, so the question is then what do we want? How?
What I want to do is get on a bus and on a backpack and go out west. That's what I want to do.
Ask for it.
I just don't think I can stay here.
Okay. Ask for it. I think you talked about it. And what I told you, I remember that time as well. Every day, put it into your morning prayers and saying, I'm taking a backpack and I'm going west. And I see myself there already. I don't know how. I don't care how. I just bring it in. Because somehow in your system it needs one ray of hope before
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm back to the point. Your system is looking for one ray of hope. And
That's what I'm looking for. Is
then say, okay, then I will believe everything. But that, sorry, I will have to go. That one ray of hope can only come from you. It will not come from outside. It can manifest from somebody else giving it to you, but you have to ask for it. You have to literally snatch it from the universe. Literally saying, it's mine. It belongs to me.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, my dear. But we are here for you. You know that. Aisha, we are out of time, but since you raised your hand, I'm going to. Do you have any question? You're muted, yeah? Okay. Nope. Margarita, how are you doing, my dear?
No, uh, I'm half asleep.
I know, I can feel that. So it's okay.
Um, so I couldn't connect to this question, and I really